Hello, my YouTubers. I'm Carrie Campbell. I wanted to go ahead and share with you the things that are pertaining to depression and people who are suffering from them. I got a large request of people wanting to find out more about it, who wanted to hear the symptoms, the causes, and things like that. So I'll go deeper into what depression really is. So let's start off by discussing what is depression. So according to the Webster Dictionary, the depression is a feeling of despondency and dejection. Those words are really, really strong though. So when you're saying that you're feeling despondent, you're feeling lost and hopeless and like there's nowhere to go, and you have no courage left, no hope. And dejection meaning that that's the state that you're in. So when you're putting those two together, you're saying that you're in the state, you're in a mental capacity where you feel like you're lost and there's no hope. It's almost like you being buried alive and you have no fight in you, so you just stay there. We're going to continue by talking about the causes of depression. So people think that it just comes out of nowhere. Like, boom, you're depressed. No. Depression, it stems from biology. Biology meaning that it can be a chemical imbalance. So people who continuously can suffer from it, but it's a biological effect. Then there's genetics. It can be passed on from mother to daughter, from father to son, from family member to family member. It's gender based, meaning that it's 2 times more likely to affect a female than it does a male. Not to say men don't get depressed, it's just 2 times more likely. Age. So it does stem from teenagers going all the way up, but um, elderly people get it a lot more. And I think it's because they're losing their life, they're moving to a facility, so they tend to get depressed more. Ailments, things like that can happen. So they're like the highest rate of it. But it does start from a teenage, so teenagers going all the way up from 15 years old, going all the way up. And a lot of that can cause the onset of depression. There's things that you can do to take to help. Changing your diet. When you start feeling more that you need to be in the house and that you don't want to get out, it's best if you force yourself to get out, force yourself to be around people. Those are stuff that can cause it. As far as changing your diet, a lot of natural fruits like fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, if you do more of that, that also can build up the imbalance that's within your brain, and that can cause you to be on a fresher path. um, I would say that depression does affect 16.1 million people within the US alone, and half of that, majority of that is adults. Of course, you won't find it more that much within kids, but again, I'm do saying that teenagers do get affected. 6.7% of the US that are 18 years and older, and only 61.7% actually do get help, which mean they're on some kind of treatment, get therapy, anything like that. So we don't we're I believe that we're scared to get treatment, we're scared to be branded, we're scared to feel like, oh my god, you're depressed. That's an illness, or that's a psychological thing, let me keep away from you. A lot of time people always say, oh, I'm trying to be positive, so I'm surrounding myself with positivity, so they don't want to be around someone else who's depressed. And sometimes when they do that, they affect the depressed person even more, because then they feel like they need to be by themselves because they're not welcome into someone else's atmosphere. Really and truly, it does help to be around someone that's more positive, because you uplift that depressed person's feeling. And for maybe a smidget a smidget of a time, you will see that they might be slowly coming out of their depression. But again, it depends on how depressed the person is. Sometimes it really, really, really caused them that they need to seek immediate help. So the symptoms of depression, um, it changes and it varies with person. So one person might have this symptom, another person can have that. So sometimes people don't even know they're depressed because of that, because they think of just one thing. Um, and again, it can be mild to severe. So I'm going to go over the list of the symptoms of depression. Feeling sad or having a depressed mood, loss of interest or pleasure in activities once enjoyed, changes in appetite, such as weight gain or weight loss, and it's unrelated to diet and exercise. So if you just all of a sudden you blow up, or you see someone like a month ago and then you see them again and they're like this skinny, that could be a sign that they're going through something. um Trouble sleeping or sleeping too much, loss of energy or increased fatigue, increase in purposeless physical activity or slow movements and speech, feeling worthless or guilty. And this is one of the main ones that a lot of people who are depressed go through. I did a poll on Facebook not too long ago in a group, and I asked them what are their insecurities, and because of the insecurities, why would they, why do they feel the way they do? And around 6 or 7 of them brought up alone, they feel like they haven't accomplished much. So they feel worthless because of that they haven't accomplished anything, that they have a goal and they don't feel like because they haven't reached their goal, they haven't accomplished it. So in a way, it's a form of feeling worthless, and that brings on the onset of depression. Difficulty thinking, concentrating, and making decisions, thoughts of death or suicide. Generally, again, these symptoms must last at least 2 weeks or more for it to be clinically diagnosed as depression. So, someone who's going through it, and yes, it is still depression, don't get me wrong. It's still going, if you're going through it for a couple days, you're depressed, but you can bounce back. But if it's somewhere where it takes longer than 2 weeks, you're clinically depressed and you have one of these symptoms. I would also like to ask a few people out there, you know, look out for your friends and your loved ones and your family, because sometimes we can even prevent suicide, and we can prevent a lot of things. And if we can work together as a community to reach out and even express to someone, that they're worthy, that they have made steps to goals, and they have, to cherish them, to see to see the steps that they have taken. If you can show them that those steps that they have taken towards their goals, it's better. um, for me personally, I've gone through depression. I've gone to through things that, wow, I'm wondering how come I'm still here being able to talk to you guys about it. And I can honestly say that me, when I talk to my father, he's one of those people that will list so much of my accomplishments that he'll be like, but Carrie, you did this, you did that, you went here, you did this, and you did that. Is this one thing that you're focusing on that caused you to feel depressed? You need to worry about all the things that you did right. And for me, when I do that, when I hear that, it kind of uplifts my spirit, even though I still feel like I need to focus on that one that I can't do. But really and truly, if you accomplish 10 good things, that's great. You know why? I'm saying 10, but 5 hand is up. But if you accomplish 10 good things and that one that you're lacking, focus on your 10 good, and try to acknowledge it and be proud of where you have gone, because a lot of people struggle with it. And if you can look within yourself and don't watch other people, but focus on yourself, you can see that you can achieve a lot more. So I will be talking to a couple of other people, trying to get their input on what their views of depression is, and try to see if we can let you guys understand that it's not just one person that struggle with it. Even people who are married in relationships. I've known a couple who have been married for about 7, 8 years, and they even go through therapy, and sometimes they feel a sense of loss, hopelessness, and lack of self-worth. So it doesn't affect just one person, and no one knows what you go through. So, and find someone that's not as judgmental, like you can trust to talk to. I'll always say normally strangers, because they don't know you, so it's easier to talk to a stranger than to talk to a friend. But if you do have a good friend, hold on to them and talk to them about whatever it is you're going through. If you're really feeling of thoughts of suicide and killing yourself or someone else, please seek help. Call 911. Call a site a suicide hotline, and try to see if they can help you. It's not something that they're going to retain you forever. It's just something that it's a step to going into the right place. And don't be afraid of that. Again, everyone have at one point or another gone through depression. And it's not something that we all want to acknowledge, but it's good that you can see certain symptoms and signs and try to get help with it. Okay? Have a good afternoon, and I will see you soon.